Okay, there we go. Sorry about the late start as always. I try to be on time, but always something. Anyhow, welcome to the photo editing live stream where you can submit your images and I edit them for you here live and offer a little bit of critique if I may. Just my thoughts on the composition or the image itself and some ideas. A lot of you asked me to do that because you found it kind of helpful what my opinion was on it. I don't normally like to critique photos because it's your vision, not mine. But I'm going to edit these photos as if they were my own photos, and you know you'll see what how I see the image. So um, okay, great. Hey Robert, how are you? Good to see you. Wow, you're in Santo Domingo again? Oh my goodness, that's awesome. You travel a lot. Hi Roger, good morning. So let me see if I can pull up my screens and we'll get started. I didn't get too many this week, just looks like three, six, seven, eight images. Let me see how this works. Nope, every time. There we go. All right, very good. So we'll start here with uh Urad. Looks like. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly. And we have looks like a vendor table at maybe a flea market or something like that. And flea markets are always fun to go to. Uh, okay. So I didn't apply. Just going to apply basic optical preset here with some noise reduction. And then let's go to. I'm just looking at this images. We got some nice colors here. There's good contrast here between the reds and the blues. Splashes of yellow. Not much green though. So, but we got enough color contrast here. So the reason I look at that first is I try to think about if I want to do this in monochrome, black and white, or if I want to keep it in color. And I think the red and the blue here is strong enough for color with the little splashes of yellow. Wow, these are really neat little cars. These will make great props for doing some still life photography. Excuse me. And then let me know in the comments if you guys can see and hear me okay while I'm doing this. Sorry, I gotta adjust my screen here so that I can see your comments at all. There we go. Very good. Good to see you, Jeff and John. Good to see you. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop in a bit. I don't want to see any of the background or the table so much. I think that's where I'll start first. So let me just come in and just focus on a group of cars here, maybe, and where the image is focused. Yeah, I like that. Let me maybe slightly adjust this. And maybe just a slight tilt so I can get a little bit more in. Like that. The question is, maybe, yeah, that looks like a good angle right there. Okay, I like that. So we got the majority of the area in focus here and a little bit out of focus for some depth. And I don't think I need to do much from here, actually. Uh, Let me change the color to neutral and see. Yeah, that doesn't do much. White balance is fine. Just a couple local adjustments, maybe. because there's not any one subject here. It's more of a look at patterns and lighting. What I might do is just add a little bit to that, some of the highlights here. Let me see if I can. A little bit here. Just make it look like some of the headlights are on. I think this might need a little bit more than the others. Push these a little bit more. Give it a little bit of a glow. And just a little bit extra. I'm just going to layer these these headlights a little bit. And then this one needs a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to darken sort of this area up here. Oops, I got to create a new one. There we go. Just bring the, oops, too much. Okay. One more thing I might do. Just add a little bit of clear view to some of these control points. And then we'll do some global contrast here. And I'm going to pull the color back just a little. Okay, I think that's it. So let's do a quick before and after. And as you can see, I did a pretty heavy crop. So again, this was a little bit too busy, and there's a lot of uninteresting parts in the image. So I just wanted to focus on right in here where you can actually have something in focus and really captures most of what's interesting about the scene. So there's the before, and here's the after. And then just adding some of the headlights in, just give it a little more visual interest. Some what do they call it? Some accents to the image. Okay, let's go to the next one here from William or William. Maybe the V is silent. I don't know. Okay, we have beautiful landscape here. And, with these wide angle shots, if you guys watch my streams, I'm not a big fan of huge swaths of negative space when you shoot wide angle. So typically what I do in landscapes is I just do panoramas with a little bit tighter focal length and go across. But in this, that way I capture as much detail as possible. But with a single lens, this is the 8mm fisheye, I end up usually just cropping in. So let me again just apply basic preset for optical corrections and denoising. So this gets rid of the fisheye effect and also makes it rectilinear. And then The horizon looks a little crooked to me. Just a little bit of slant here. But sometimes when you're dealing with seascapes, you get a little bit of a perspective distortion when the horizon is actually straight, but it doesn't look quite straight. But I think in this case, the horizon is definitely just a little bit off because we have these poles down here too, street lamps. Okay, just a tad more. That looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to do a very, very wide crop on this. So we're going to go 16:7, and we're going to come in nice and tight. Maybe about, let's see, if I keep that front and center, try and balance this image. That looks pretty good. And then let's see how much I can bring back in the sky. Bring this down. Tighten up the chroma mask, or sorry, luma masking, because I don't want to affect the mountains too much. And just a touch of clear view, because I don't want to lose the fog or haziness in the scene either. And it's relatively monochromatic because we just have grays and green. I'm wondering if I should highlight these sort of little spots of red. I might go monochromatic with this image. I'm going to try and get exposure to about where I want it. Okay, and then let me work on the water a little bit. Let me try a masking brush and see where that gets me. This might be a mistake. This is one area DxO or Photolab needs to improve, is some sort of AI masking would be nice, where we just select the area that I'm interested in. But typically, I like the waters to be black or as dark as possible to create as much separation between this and the landmass. And it definitely missed up here. Okay, and then I'm going to erase a little bit of spill here and there. Oh, this needs to be 100%. 100%. Okay, let's try that again. Almost. A little bit there. A little bit there. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick before and after and see where I'm at with the geometry. Okay, good. And then let me go in this direction. And this green grass, I'm just going to make a little more lush. Guess I can go much tighter. I'm not sure if it needs to be vibrant or Okay. Just a little bit more. Here's my eyedropper. Okay, that's good. Just want a little bit more definition in this area, more contrast. Probably it's not helping much. Okay, that's good enough. And then what I want to do now is just pretend that these lights are on. So I'm going to create just a little bit of extra lighting in here. So we'll do a luma mask, tighten it up a little bit. And let me do just the exposure and see how that looks. And we'll something like that. Move these over a little bit. And then one here. And then just a touch here and here. Not there. Let's do a new one. And we'll touch this up a bit. Like that. Give it a little warmth. I know that's totally fake, but I like it. I'm going to reduce the opacity a tiny bit. There we go. It's a little bit too strong. Are there more up in here? I don't really see any more. Yeah, they're all covered. So I think this one doesn't look right. Maybe put it on this building. Okay. So I'm going to pull this contrast actually back. Just soften that up a tiny bit. All right, let me take a quick look where we're at. Okay. I'm going to pull the opacity back on these. Just a little more. Put these down. All right, then let me try. I want it to look. I got to fix this control line. Okay. I think I'll call it there. So if we do a before and after, so without the crop, so this is the entire scene. So again, as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of tons of negative space when you do wide angle landscapes. So that's why I like to crop these. Just it's a very subjective personal choice. Don't read too much into it. And there's the before and there's the after. So I think that came out pretty nice because not a lot needed to really be done with this other than the crop and to bring out some of the details. But I think that looks much better. Let me show you the direct comparison. So this is really the before where I cropped into, and then that's the after. All right, let's go to the next one here from Lasse. And this is another new camera lens combination I haven't done. So this is a Canon EOS 400D with the 17 to 40 f4. Actually, I think I have that lens. I don't have the camera body for it, but I do have that lens. My camera broke. Anyhow, wow, really nice landscape here. And I think this side is a little bit messy, so I'm just going to focus on this area. Um, maybe let me just apply basic preset and straighten the horizon a little bit like that. Because yeah, this side's a little bit too cluttered. So I'm going to, I don't know if I want to do a horizontal or vertical. Let me see how that looks. It's okay. Let me let me look at a vertical. Yeah, vertical's not going to make it either. Nah, maybe. I like that a little better. It's just a little bit too much dead space down here, but I might be able to work the shadows a little bit. Um, if I go a little bit tighter. I'd like to get the ground all the way in here. Okay, I think I'll go with this. Um, hmm. Maybe just a little bit soft. don't think this would. I think I'll go with black and white. Although I kind of like if there was a little bit more red showing here, I'd probably keep it in color, but it's just a little sliver, so I'm going to ignore it and go black and white. Let's go right to some local adjustments here. Move my pointer up here. Increase the lumen mask. Give it some clarity, some contrast. Foreground's getting a little bit too dark, so let's do that and push this up with it. Okay, that's good. I don't mind if this is clipped a little bit up here. Let me just bring it a tiny bit in. All right. And then what I want to do in here, just try to accentuate the shadow a little bit more. I'm sure I can do that. Something like that. A little bit in here. A little bit there, and maybe right there. And I'm going to just pull the exposure down here. Like that. Okay. And then I want to bring out some of the details of these boats. Here, here, and here. Maybe a little bit there. Okay. Okay. And then right in here, we just need some contrast. And I just need a touch on this white part here. And let me go back to this one and push the contrast in here and here. Okay. The water needs a little more separation. So let's try. This is not gonna go well. But I'm gonna try it. Yeah, something like that. And one more dash in the foreground right here. Okay, I'm going to look at the color one more time. I didn't realize this was red down here. This is actually, I can actually work with that red a little bit. Let me do that. All I have to do is tighten up the chroma mask. Uh, just like that. Hmm. I don't know. Let's stay with color. I like both. I like black and white and I like color. Just gonna pull back the vibrancy a tiny bit. And then it's a little bit too much green. So I'm gonna push this magenta slightly. Okay. And then add a little more brightness. All right. So one more check on the black and white. Like I said, I think either way this will work. But I kind of like the color a little better. Just needs a tiny bit more contrast in here. And a little bit more sharpness. Oops, that's too much. Okay, that's the gist of it. It looks a little bit green though still. This something is off just slightly. I think it's the greens. Let me see if I can shift these greens. Maybe shift it back this way. Just a tiny shift, and then these oranges, maybe a little bit more red. Okay. All right. I'm gonna call it there. Um, so this is the original cropped, unedited, otherwise image on the left, and here's the one on the right. And then if we look at the actual full image, you can see I felt like there was just too much going on here. I kind of see the composition you're going for, but there's just too much weight on the left side. And then it clears up over here. And I think this is one of those situations where less is more, right? What you could do is probably move back a little bit and over here, maybe get a little different angle, like shoot from this direction to that and get this side and then do this side separately. But that kind of works for me here. Still not 100% happy with this crop. It's almost like a horizontal might be good too. This is not bad either, right? We have a nice baseline here of steps, and I'm eliminating this shadow issue I was having and just focusing on the water. All right. Thank you for sending that in. Let's go to the next one here. Got one from John. Uh, Looks like a pigeon. So I will. I need to. I need to apply basic preset first, and then let's do a slight tilt. Oh, and then I need to extract the bird out from the background. Why's it got only one leg? Sometimes the leg is just kind of tucked up under the feathers, but this bird looks like he lost a leg altogether. So I'm going to make that a lot brighter. Let's say there, and then we'll darken the scene. Like that. Okay. And then let's do a nice, oops, a nice glow on the eyes. Do the same thing probably on the beak. Okay. Uh, let's be a little bit more selective on the. I'm gonna warm it up a tiny bit. This off. Okay. Um, Maybe just a slight vignette, and we'll call it there. Slight white balance shift. It's interesting. I didn't realize the Nikon actually creates a square raw image, right? So I assume you selected 1:1 aspect ratio, and uh, and it actually crops the raw image as well. That's interesting. Okay, so let me see where we're at. I think that's good. So let's just do a quick before and after. So yeah, again, this is another really well exposed image, well composed, and all I really had to do is just kind of separate the subject from the background a little bit, uh, and add a tiny bit of warmth, and I think that looks pretty good. Because when you look at them side by side, it's obvious, right, that this bird is maybe a little bit too bright. But I think if you look at it on its own, it looks okay. What I might do is get rid of that, whatever that man-made thing is there. Let me do that. I don't like this. Okay, there we go. Um, Very nice. Lots of good detail. And you must have walked right up to that thing. Had to be really close. Okay, this image looks really familiar, like I've done this before. Um, that's okay. We'll do it again. Not 100% sure. This might be a different one of the same scene. So this one is very, very crisp. Let me just apply basic preset. And this is definitely going to go black and white. Uh, Much tighter crop. I like this. I think this is different than the last one I did. The last one I think was a wider crop, but I'm not 100%. Um, I don't I don't think this would look good wide. Let me to give some thought here. So I want to create some. I want to keep that depth that I'm feeling. No, this image to me is more about what's going on up here. Yeah, this works. Okay. So the question is, how much do I keep? Hmm, maybe I need to go back to 4:3. Kind of like the wider crop though better. Maybe a 3:2. I kind of like, yeah, I like a 3:2, and I don't know if I need to do much more other than maybe fix a little bit of the flaring issues here and here. and create, because it's already nicely silhouetted. I don't think there's much going on in the sky, but I'm going to double check here. Yeah, it's just a clear sky. So maybe do that a little bit here. I just want to make this side a little bit darker. And see if I can just make this a little more contrasty. Wow. There's a couple of ways to go with this image. This is a little bit punchier, but then I was thinking if I mm, yeah, I can do it this way. I want to keep that punchiness, but with less contrast. So I'm just gonna I'll just push the blacks up a little bit. So how's that? Off, on. I think I'll go a little bit softer look. Yeah, I think I'll go with this. All right.